Welcome back to Aurelius Enterprises New York channel. Today, well, we've got an amazing duel of the most popular AI chatbots.
Oh, wow.
We want to know, can they really help SAP developers with AI-generated code?
Interesting.
Get ready for a rumble in the jungle. We're going to pit ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and the rising star, Claude, against each other in a real-world coding challenge.
Just like a three-way battle
Exactly.
to see who comes out on
To
top.
see who can code the best.
It's fascinating, to see how fast these AI agents and large language models, they're evolving. There's a lot of buzz around them, but we need to separate the hype from reality, especially when we talk about, the complexities and security demands of SAP systems.
Absolutely, and that's what this deep dive is all about. We've designed a challenge using SAP Analytics Cloud,
SAP Analytics Cloud.
or SAP, SA. As you know, it's a cloud-based platform that lets businesses analyze data and create interactive dashboards. Our challenge, well, it involves a real-world scenario that many SAP developers face. It involves a table, a chart, and a button that controls what's visible on a dashboard.
Okay, so it's like a visibility control. You
Yeah,
can switch between the table and the chart.
exactly.
So what's the challenge then?
The goal is to add a third state to the button's functionality.
A third state.
Yeah. Initially, the code, it only lets you display either the table or the chart. We want to change that. We want to make it so that on the third click, both the table and a chart are visible.
Interesting. So we want to be able to see both at the same time.
Right.
Sounds simple enough.
It sounds simple, but this kind of tweak, it can be surprisingly tricky, especially when you're under pressure to meet, a tight deadline.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
So before we threw them into the ring, we asked all three chatbots if they could handle SAC, SAC JavaScript.
What'd they say?
And they all confidently said yes.
Really?
Yeah.
All three of them?
All three. Confidently.
Yeah, they were ready to go. All right. So I guess we were excited to see them in action. So let's start with round one. Our reigning champ, ChatGPT. We gave it the existing code and the challenge, and initially it seemed almost too easy.
It did, didn't it?
ChatGPT turned out code in a matter of seconds.
Like lightning.
Yeah,
It was impressive.
it was.
But here's where things get interesting. The code failed.
Oh no, what happened? So ChatGPT, it managed to solve the initial challenge, but remember, we wanted to see if it could handle a bit more.
Push it a little further.
Yeah.
See what it's really capable of.
Right, so we added, that seemed like a simple request to change the text of the button to please click here when the page first loads.
Pretty basic, right?
Yeah, on the surface it seemed like a straightforward task, but, it gets to the heart of how well AI understands the nuances of human instructions.
Did ChatGPT rise to the occasion?
Well, it delivered code, and the code worked, but not exactly as we intended.
Oh.
The button's text, it did change to please click here, but only after the button was clicked, not when the page initially loaded, which is what we specifically asked for.
So close,
Yeah,
but not quite.
right.
It's like it understood the words, but missed the subtle context of what we were trying to achieve.
Exactly. And this just highlights the importance of clear communication between humans and AI. We had to go back to ChatGPT and provide more specific instructions, emphasizing that the text should change on page load.
Okay, so a little more hand-holding. How did it handle that?
To its credit, ChatGPT recognized the issue. It suggested moving the code to the onload event, which is triggered when the page first loads. Basically, it was telling us to put the code in the right spot for it to execute at the right time.
Okay, so it knew what to do. It just needed a little nudge.
Yeah, a little direction.
A little direction,
Maybe
so
with it,
more back
yeah.
and forth. But eventually, ChatGPT, with a bit of human guidance, managed to deliver the desired result.
It did.
It's a good reminder that even the most sophisticated AI tools can sometimes miss the finer points of human communication.
They can, and it makes you wonder, as these tools become more integrated into our workflows, how do we ensure that we're communicating clearly and accurately to get the precise outcomes we need?
That's a great point. Now, let's move on to round two of our AI coding challenge. Enter Google Gemini, powered by Google's vast knowledge and processing power.
Oh, this is the big one.
We were excited to see if it would live up to the hype. Would it dominate the challenge? We fed it the same code and instructions,
And
and the result was unexpected.
unexpected.
Gemini's solution was overly complex, riddled with errors.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where ChatGPT had been relatively concise, Gemini produced a jungle of code that was difficult to understand and debug.
Interesting.
It's almost as if it was trying too hard to impress us with its complexity. and ended up tripping over its own feet.
Yeah, this highlights the fact that different AI tools have different strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
Sometimes a simpler approach is better, and in this case, Gemini's complexity worked against it, despite multiple attempts, 15 to be exact. Gemini couldn't produce working code for this specific SAC challenge.
That's surprising, considering Google's reputation for AI prowess.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have it figured out.
So, ChatGPT, it had a rocky start, but eventually pulled through with some help. Google Gemini, despite its vast resources, stumbled and couldn't deliver. This sets the stage for our underdog, Anthropic Claude.
The newcomer?
Can this relative newcomer compete with the established giants?
We were curious. Claude has been gaining attention for its impressive reasoning capabilities.
It has?
It has,
Well,
yeah.
we were curious to see if it could live up to the buzz.
Right.
We fed Claude the same code and the challenge, and we were prepared for anything.
Anything at this point.
And what happened next was, well, let's just say it was a knockout punch.
A knockout punch.
Claude's code worked on the first try,
No way.
and it was remarkably concise and elegant, putting both ChatGPT and Gemini to shame. We were speechless. It was like watching a master coder effortlessly solve a complex puzzle. Claude's ability to understand the problem and deliver a clean, efficient solution was astonishing.
Amazing. What's even more impressive is that Claude went a step further. Remember how we had to specifically tell ChatGPT to change the button text on load?
Yeah.
Well, Claude did that on its own, without any prompting.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like it anticipated what we wanted and delivered a solution that was both functional and user-friendly.
That's incredible.
It even created distinct labels for each state of the button: show table only, show both views, and show chart only.
Wow.
This level of foresight and attention to detail was remarkable.
It makes you realize just how rapidly AI is evolving and how quickly these tools are learning to think, like human developers.
That's a great point. But wait, there's more.
More.
There was a minor hiccup with the initialization code, but Claude, ever the quick learner, resolved it in just 4 attempts.
4.
It's safe to say that Claude exceeded all expectations in this round.
It definitely sounds like it.
But what does this mean for the bigger picture? What can we learn from this AI coding showdown? Stay tuned for the final part, where we break down the results and explore the implications for the future of SAP development. Welcome back to the final round of our AI coding challenge. It's been an incredible journey.
It has.
With unexpected twists and turns along the way, we've seen ChatGPT stumble, but eventually recover, Google Gemini struggling with its own complexity, and Claude emerging as a surprising champion.
Yeah, what's truly remarkable about Claude's victory is that it wasn't specifically designed for SAP development.
Right.
Yet it outperformed tools that were. This says a lot about the rapid pace of AI innovation.
It does.
And the potential of these general-purpose tools to tackle specialized tasks.
It really makes you wonder, what other hidden talents are lurking within these AI tools, just waiting to be unlocked? We focused on a specific SAP coding challenge, but imagine the possibilities if we apply these tools to other areas of SAP development.
The potential is immense. Think about A/B development, data analysis, process automation, the list goes on. But as we've seen throughout this deep dive, human expertise, it remains crucial.
It does.
These AI tools are powerful allies, but they're not a replacement for human developers.
Exactly. It's about collaboration, about harnessing the strengths of both humans and AI to achieve better, faster, and more innovative outcomes. What stood out to you about Claude's approach to this specific challenge?
What's fascinating is that Claude seemed to grasp the underlying intent of our request, even when our initial instructions weren't perfectly clear.
Yeah.
This suggests a level of understanding that goes beyond simply parsing words and syntax.
You're right. Remember how it anticipated the need to change the button text on page load, even though we didn't explicitly state that in our first prompt.
Exactly.
It's like it was thinking ahead,
Yeah,
considering the user experience, making decisions that a human developer might make.
exactly. And this highlights an important point for SAP developers. As we integrate these AI tools into our workflows, we need to think about how to communicate effectively with them.
Right.
It's not just about writing code. It's about expressing our intentions, our design goals, and the overall user experience we want to create.
It's about treating these AI tools as collaborators, as partners in the development process. So what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What can they do to harness the power of AI in their own SAP development work?
The answer is simple. Experiment.
Experiment.
Don't be afraid to try out these tools. to push their boundaries and see what they can do. The source material, it actually lists a whole range of other SAP capabilities that Claude claims to handle,
Oh, really?
from SA HANA script to debugging complex workflows.
Like a treasure chest of AI-powered potential waiting to be explored. I encourage all our listeners to take what you've learned from this deep dive and start experimenting. Try using ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or even our champion Claude on your next coding project.
Great idea.
Share your experiences with the community. Let's learn together and push the boundaries of what's possible.
And remember, this is just the beginning.
It is.
The world of AI, it's constantly evolving, new contenders will emerge, and existing tools will become even more powerful. The future of SAP development is a collaborative one where humans and AI work together to achieve amazing things.
So stay curious, stay engaged, and keep exploring the incredible potential of AI in SAP. Until next time, happy coding.